Why did I opt out of my company 401k? Aside from being licensed as a financial professional, I have a PhD in electrical engineering, which means I still practice a full-fledged career in electrical engineering. In fact, I work at one of the top companies you can think of in the Silicon Valley. That said, I was offered the 401k, and the way the company works is you are automatically enrolled in the 401k program if you don't opt out. Guess what? I opted out of the 401k. You may think I'm crazy, but with my license and training in finance, I have more insider info and have done way more research than the average person. I'm going to share with you my logic for opting out of the company 401k. Let me give you some background first. I'm not a financial hobbyist. I'm a trained financial planner licensed to give you this education. My name is Dr. Aflin and welcome to my channel. I'm going to explain why I chose to opt out of my company 401k even though they offered matching contributions. Before I get into it, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with someone who loves wealth talk. Let's get into it. So, back to our question, why did I opt out of my company's 401k? I know some of you are already thinking of all the great reasons that I should have a 401k. In fact, financial enthusiasts always say, max out your 401k. Well, I did the math. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to break down this math for you and I will show you how to calculate it yourself. But first, let's talk about why a lot of financial bloggers, enthusiasts, even advisors push the 401k. The first thing they say is the company is going to match your contributions. Take the free money. We'll talk about that in a minute. But note, nothing is really free, even in Freetown. The second reason they say is this: it's tax deferred. Tax deferred is painted as something amazing, but I'm going to show you why I'm not impressed by that. Not a little bit. Well, another reason people would give to have a 401k is that they say you grow your money over the long term. Of course, that is pretty much true in a good market. So, with all of this love of the 401k, why did I say no? Simple. I learned from history. Well, something happened to a relative of mine who came to the US over 30 years ago, and he worked hard. He was working hard to achieve the American dream. He had a great job in New York and was contributing to his 401k faithfully, hoping that one day he's going to retire and he would have a comfortable retirement. But then COVID hit. If COVID did not open your eyes, I'm not sure what will. The world shut down. The biggest economies in the world were forced to a halt. No one could have imagined something like that happening, but it did. And guess what? It can happen again. And most likely, it will at least once or twice in your lifetime. So, why doubt it? Well, as a result of the economy shutting down, this relative of mine lost over 30% of his 401k. Now, if you're young, you might be able to stomach that kind of loss, thinking the market always bounces back. But if you're 62 and you're staring down retirement, you panic. And of course, he panicked. He was losing money and the downward trend wasn't reversing fast enough. So, he did not want to see his life savings disappear. What did he do? He moved all his money into a low interest portfolio that did not even beat inflation. So, when the market recovered, he missed the boat entirely because he had already logged in his losses in the fixed deposits account. And he was getting bad advice at the time too. Well, I would rather learn from that experience than lose money in a downturn myself. Yes, I know. I can hear you from here. The market eventually bounces back. But here's something most people don't tell you. If you retired at the end of 97 and held your investments until the end of 2008, you would have lost money even though you were in the market for over 10 years. It has happened before, and I'm not ruling that out for the future. A bad sequence of returns can wipe out your savings fast. It's not about the average return of the market. If you are forced to sell investments at a loss during bad years, that average of return does not matter any longer. And that's one of the 4 major reasons I opted out of the 401k. Now you see, well, you may be wondering, so what, Aflin? You don't have a plan for retirement? Of course I do. I want to retire early and I want to retire prosperously. For me, in fact, retirement is not about age. It's not about 65. It is about when I can focus on contributing more to society instead of just working and working hard for income. I will share my strategy with you in a bit. I've got a plan that hasn't lost a dime since I started using it, and it offers great growth. Well, before I get into that, let's get back into why I opted out. Reason number 2 is access. I wouldn't have access to my money while I'm working for the company. And even if I did have access, I would face penalties and taxes if I wanted to withdraw early. Now you might ask, why would you want to spend your retirement funds early? Well, I don't, but I do want the power to control my money. Well, let's get back to that relative of mine I told you about. Once the market was bouncing back, he went back into the market. Well, he had lost over 30% of his 401k during COVID. He lost even more in 2022 when inflation hit and the market took another dive. The S&P 500 was down nearly 20%. Well, finally he reached out to me because he understood. He heard that I'd been helping people protect their savings. He wanted me to move his money into a plan that would let it grow without losing a single penny, even when the market crashed. Well, we got on a 3-way call with his broker and they told him he couldn't move money. Why? He was still working with the company. Just imagine that. At 64, he couldn't have access to his own retirement savings. He was stuck and he had to retire or leave the job before he would have access to that money. Can you believe that? Now, even if I don't want to spend my retirement money early, I want the flexibility to take decisions with it when I need to. My relative did not have that freedom, and that taught me a huge lesson. I want control over my money. Period. Well, the third reason, taxes. Yes, taxes. In fact, this is probably my biggest reason for opting out. The 401k is tax deferred, meaning you don't pay taxes now. But when you retire, you'll pay taxes. No, thank you. Why should I work hard, save diligently, then watch Uncle Sam wait in the wings like a predator ready to pounce on my retirement? That company match everyone talks about, it's gonna get wiped out by taxes. And when you're retired, taxes can eat away at your funds so much that you could run out of money 10 years earlier than expected. I did the math and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I used a 401k calculator, which you can find in the description below. Most companies, including mine, would allow you to contribute up to 6% of your salary. My company would match 50% of that. So let's say I'm making $200,000 a year. It's an assumption. I will not tell you how much I make. And my salary increases by 3% every year. I'm starting from 0 at age 35 and calculating up to age 65. I put in a 5% annual rate of return after accounting for fees, which average about 2.2%. So my company matches all 6% of what I put in. Over 30 years, my contributions would add up to about $570,000, and my employer chips in about $285,000. In total, I would accumulate around $1.7 million with the company match. Without the match, it would be about $1.1 million. Here's the catch. I live in California. If I take distributions during retirement, I would owe up to 40% in taxes, 30% for federal, and about 10% for state. If I'm taxed 40% on $1.7 million, that's nearly $700,000 gone. Boom. Just like that. All that matching is wiped out by taxes. And what if the market has a bad year? When I need to take out those distributions? Well, the combination of taxes and losses would put me in a worse position. Well, I'm going to give you a bonus reason for opting out, and it's called required minimum distribution, RMD. When I turn 73, I'll be forced by the government to start taking money out of my 401k, whether I need it or not. And if I don't take out enough, well, the IRS slaps me with a penalty, and that penalty used to be 50%, now it's 25%. Still, 25% is huge. So the 401k can become an expensive product in retirement when the government just bills me and penalizes me for what I do and what I don't do. When they force me to take money out that I don't need to take out. Well, now, does this mean you shouldn't have a 401k? No, I'm not saying that. Bonus reason number 2. I wouldn't be able to retire early with a 401k. Yes, because I can't touch it without penalties until I'm about 60. I want options, I want flexibility, and I want control over when I want to retire. Now, the 401k does not let me retire. So what do I use to plan for my future? Well, I'm a licensed financial planner. I believe I have the education to make the best decisions for my financial future. Based on my years of research and calculations, I've been using a strategy that lets me grow my money, protects it from losses, access it tax-free. I can take distributions when I want without worrying about Uncle Sam. And since I started using this plan, I haven't lost a single dime. Not even in 2022 when the market went down. So, am I trying to tell you that you should abandon your 401k? No. But my advice is simple. Learn the numbers. Run your own numbers. Make a well-informed decision. Well, I've helped many people, young and old, to combine their traditional 401ks and IRAs with other accumulation plans in a way that ensures they never owe taxes when they retire. I'm going to be sharing all of that on this channel. So subscribe to learn more about how you can save money, how you can grow money, how you can plan your retirement when you want it, not when the government tells you to get it. My name is Dr. Aflin. I'm your educator. Subscribe to this channel to hear more about how I have helped people grow from zero net worth to a winning portfolio mix. I'm going to share all of the secrets here on this channel, all for free. Isn't that amazing? Join me and let's make this money together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.